My name is Dirk and welcome to Shutter Jam, the channel that refuses to shoot raw, JPEG and cute looking animals. More than a few months ago, I took a first look at this camera and I promised you I would return with a full review, but an unfortunate accident meant that this didn't quite happen. I'm perfectly fine, but the film didn't fare as well. So we're back to take another look at the world's smallest fully manual 35mm camera, the Rollei 35, how it came to be, how to use it, and what kind of results you can expect. The Rollei 35 camera is a camera unlike any other. A stunning looking compact camera made in Germany and later Singapore in the late 60s and early 70s. The camera was designed by Heinz Waaske, who at the time was working for camera manufacturer Wirgin. Heinz was chief designer and had designed compact cameras before, like the Edixa 16mm. However, he believed that he could design a compact 35mm camera. If legend is true, he did this in his spare time in the comfort of his own living room. Having just invented the world's smallest 35mm camera, he presented a working prototype to his boss at the time, Heinrich Wirgin. You'd think he would be happy, but he was furious and accused Heinz of wasting company time and resources to work on his own projects. You see, the camera business at the time in the 60s was very competitive, and Heinrich had missed out with the Edixa Electronica. The Electronica was an SLR, a way ahead of his time, but his brother Max believed that it would decimate the sales of their existing SLR lines. Business is ruthless, and a key factor often to success is speed to market. Remember, if you don't do it, then someone else will, and that's exactly what the Japanese manufacturers did. They beat them to the market. Heinrich, having been burned before, perhaps saw the eventual writing on the wall and decided to retire from the camera and photography business altogether. Without an employer, Heinz was now out of a job. He presented the camera to Letz and even Kodak, who failed to see the brilliance either. The camera almost didn't see the light of day, but all success stories are built on hard work, persistence, and often than not, a bit of luck. Heinz found work at Rollei and, having been burned previously, was reluctant to show the camera to his new employer. But by chance, when they caught a glimpse of this metal beauty, they fell in love, and the rest, they say, is history. I'm not superficial, as beauty is said to be more than skin deep, but what first appealed me to this camera was the way it looked. There's something about this camera that I find so appealing. Often than not, I say a camera is beautifully crafted, well made, solid and robust. But this truly is. This is one of the best pieces of industrial designs that I've ever seen. If you were to make a fully framed digital version of this, then I expect the police would just arrest you, because you'd be printing money. In terms of picking one of these up, then they probably start for about $120 on the cheaper end and upwards to around $300 on eBay. I paid $110 for mine back in April 2016. There's a lot of different variations of this camera, and the website Rollei Club, which I'll link to down below, is your best source for detailed information. Expect to pay more for early German ones with Carl Zeiss made lens. Later versions made in Germany and Singapore featured a licensed Tessar lens made by Rollei instead. Rollei's quality control was said to be so good that you're not likely to notice any difference. There are later models of the camera such as the T and the S. The S is one to look out for, as it features a outstanding Carl Zeiss sonar lens, which is 2.8. There's no such thing as a free lunch, so expect to pay more for the faster lens. With Heinz so focused on making the camera compact, did he forsake how easy the camera was to use? Well, let's find out. First thing you'll notice about the camera are these two dials on the front that look like two giant eyes. These control aperture and shutter speed. Rather unusual places. It's the kind of move that Sony would pull, you're probably thinking to yourself, But Sony would probably make it out of cheese, perhaps an Eden or something slippery, and very likely to break just after the warranty had expired. I should probably cut that out. The lens is sunk into the camera body, which can be turned and pulled out to release the 40mm lens. To retract the lens, the camera must be wound on. Simply press the button on top and rotate the lens back into the body. At the time, 50mm was very much the standard, so this was seen as the unconventional wide boy on the block. The lens is a Tessar 3.5, which in this case wasn't made by Carl Zeiss, but rather licensed and made by Rollei. Focusing on the lens is smooth, and in this case uses some archaic non-metric measurement system. Thankfully, I'm versed in both metric and imperial. You'll need to be, as this isn't a rangefinder and automatic focus hasn't yet been invented, which means the only use for the viewfinder is framing. So you'll need to get good at judging distance. The light meter is on top of the camera. In this case, it's not working, but that's been the sad story of my life in general. In this case, I believe the electronics are fine, as it does provide a reading. It's just that the reference line that would be linked to ISO, speed, aperture doesn't seem to work. Therefore, the readout becomes meaningless. It is something, according to the internet, that can be fixed easily. And the fact the camera is missing a couple of screws suggests that someone may have already attempted this. I'm terrible at fixing things, especially due to my lack of patience and chunky fingers, so over the years I've learned not to meddle with precious things. When I first shot this camera, I honestly thought the camera was a monstrosity. It was clumsy, slow, difficult to use, but that's only because it has a slight learning curve. If I'd only shot a single film, I would have thought the same, but I shot 3 films with it. Heinz was a genius, so we should have a bit more faith. He believed in functionality and was said to balk at the high-end luxury models. The truth is, the more you use the camera, the more it begins to make sense. The camera is designed to be used looking down before framing, and that's when you realize you have everything you need. The light meter, the speed dial, the aperture, and focus are all where they should be. Film rewind is on the bottom, the same with exposure counter, but they're not essential, so who cares? The flash bracket is also on the bottom, and I've never seen this done before on another camera, but please feel free to comment down below if you have. If anything, was that an afterthought? Hey Heinz, we love your camera, but can you add a flash socket? Get out of here! This is a compact camera for compact people. So let's take a picture, but before we can do that, we need to load some film in. On the bottom of the camera, there's a small latch that unlocks the back. The back slides off, like so. Lift up the plate on the back, insert the film, wind on, replace the back, and we're ready to shoot. And shoot we will. But wait, we need to pull out the lens, we need to check the available light, we need to set the aperture, and we need to set shutter speed, estimate distance from subject, focus, frame subject and viewfinder, and shoot. The sound of the shutter firing is rather quiet, and you're unlikely to disturb even a sleeping baby panda. How does it shoot? Well, let's find out. I tend to have really high expectations in life, and often this means I'm greatly disappointed. But oh my goodness, I love this camera, and the images it produces are absolutely fantastic. This is very much down to this gem of a lens. These were shot using Kodak Gold 400, and it's what you'd expect from this affordable film. Bold, vibrant and punchy colours that bring the images to life. The pictures were taken in a few places, an Italian festival in Leichhardt, Sydney, the beautiful island of Fiji. There's been no post-editing of the images at all, and this includes any colour correction or cropping. So there you have it. Who is this camera for? To be honest, I can't think of very many excuses not to shoot with this camera, but the only real limitation is the fact it's not a rangefinder, so focusing is manual guesswork. But to be honest, it's not that difficult. It's simply something you get used to. If you're the kind of person that can't easily adjust, or gives up or stamps their feet when things get difficult, then this camera might not be for you. It does take a little bit of adjustment to use the camera, but after the third roll, you'll be a seasoned professional and they'll need to pry the camera off you. So if you're sick of hauling around an SLR or just want a second backup camera and you're looking for something fully manual, extremely compact, with an outstanding lens that is capable of producing beautiful and stunning images, then this would be my camera of choice. Do you shoot with a Rollei 35? What do you like about it? Leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching this episode of Shutter Jam, and thanks to my subscribers. How awesome are you? If you enjoyed the video, then please like, subscribe and share with your friends. If you don't, then oh well. I guess I'll try harder next time.